welcome to my universe. We're out for tidbits of advice and wisdom to help us learn how to have a constant state of happiness and or joy. Enlightenment. I want to talk a little bit about enlightenment. Basically, some of my views on enlightenment, just to get the head thinking about ideas of the idea of enlightenment. And I've put lots of thought into it because how cool would it be to be, reach that Kundalini awakening and have full control over the universe around you and have everything you want in your life and be happy, right? Because there's a whole piece of that. Lots of different ways that are discussed on how to get there. Lots of varied commonalities. Generally, it starts with a purpose of wanting something that you don't have. That's usually how it starts. Is someone is miserable and they want something else. So in a way, misery and pain lead them to a desire of something better, and that's what will generally lead people to the idea of enlightenment, or to be awakened, or to have manifesting powers, or death. Sometimes they just wish for death. But anyway, the opposite end of that is how do you control and how do you live in your life and be happy, right? So, little quick, how I think about and what I think enlightenment is, okay? Everybody has their own idea. That's fine. If you don't like my idea, you don't have to listen. Really, you don't have to listen to me at all. You can just push stop anytime. Your choice. You make the choices here. Enlightenment, to me, is a way of living. It's, you don't hit some great, aha moment and then you're in a state of enlightenment and you're enlightened and there you go, it's over. Ooh, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I don't know where I'm going because I'm trying to take a back route because there's massive traffic and an accident somewhere, and so
1,000 feet.
Oh, instructions.
Turn left on State Route 527.
In 1,000 feet, turn left on State Route 527. Yay, instructions. That's why I put sound back on my map so that I would be able to take a video and hear instructions. Yay, I know where I am. Anyway, so enlightenment is a way of living. It's a way of living, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of being aware and consciously making decisions and choices in your life, basically. And every new awareness and every new layer of reality that you, excuse all my but anyway, every new layer and reality that you become aware of in your life is this constant state of enlightenment, used more like a verb rather than a noun. You are becoming enlightened. You are enlightened, or you're enlightening, whatever. So, yeah, you don't just like, boom, I have a Kundalini awakening and now I'm enlightened. No, it is a way of living. Like, there's so much to do on this planet, and as a human being here, you can't do it all in one lifetime. And once you've been around long enough, you realize there is not enough time to do it all in this lifetime on right here, right now. So the idea that you could reach some state and have nowhere further to go is ridiculous. And honestly, why would you want to believe that there's a dead end somewhere? Like, that's kind of depressing, personally. Why would I want to believe that there's a dead end somewhere and I become enlightened and then I know all things and then and that's it? Like, that sounds really boring, especially if I was to think of myself as an infinite spiritual light being.
25 minutes to northeast Bottle Bay.
If I am an infinite, live forever light being, why would I want to cap things off for myself? Like, if I was to live forever and centuries and centuries and centuries and live so long that I'm living beyond time, why would I want to give myself a dead end or a glass ceiling? That sounds ridiculous, especially when you think about how big the universe is and how it's constantly expanding, and there's bound to be other life and other worlds out there. Maybe I'm a light energy spiritual being that would like to actually see what it's like to live in an alien body, some other universe. Maybe I already have. I don't know. That's cool. So that's my viewpoint on enlightenment. And then to become awake, there's this idea of being awake and a lot aware. Like, everybody's living already, but there's some people that are just kind of living in this weird dream state where they're asleep and they're not making conscious decisions. Like, they honestly think they are, but they're still responding to baseline belief systems that they're not even aware are there. To me, this sounds horrible. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be walking around asleep, especially when a basic belief in something is causing me to react and call forth negative situations in my life. Why would I want that? I don't. Like, open my eyes. It might be painful. Open my eyes, let me see it, because it's better to see it and make conscious decisions in order to have my life be a lot more in my control as much as possible by taking control of my belief systems, you know? So, like, just some people have the base belief that they're ugly. Some people have the base belief that no one loves them, that their parents don't love them. There's a lot about not being loved. There's a lot of belief patterns about not being loved. Some have a baseline belief pattern that God doesn't love them, or some spiritual being doesn't love them. That's pretty intense. Like, that makes you feel miserable, especially if you are a religious person, especially if you do attend church regularly and have it conscious, solidly in your head. If you don't believe that God and Jesus love you and they're a fundamental part of your life, then dude, that sucks. Like, why would you want to do that? Even if you could say it out loud, you say it out loud, but you don't have that belief all the way through in your system. And you won't find out until you, like, go do hypnosis or cognitive therapy, or actually become awake and think about your thoughts and learn how your emotions are. Anyway, I think it's really, really beautiful when someone all of a sudden wakes up. It's like watching a star being born in my eyes. It's like watching a star being born. How beautiful is that? Just bam, boom. And there's different patterns that they go through, and each individual is different, of course, and each new star birth is different, but a lot of times it starts with a bam, and they're so incredibly happy. Like, so happy they could cry. They can't believe how amazing the world looks. Everything looks brighter. The clouds, the sun. They're aware of different biological processes of plants and animals, and kittens are so much cuter, and rabbits are so much softer. Everything is an explosion on your senses when you're more aware and awake, because you're in that present moment, being there and being alive and paying attention. It's waking up to a whole entire new world that you have been living in your whole freaking life, but now you're aware of it, and then realizing that your thoughts create your feelings, and your emotions are indicators. They're like compass indicators of where you are and how you feel. And all of a sudden, they start to realize that they have so much more control and freedom. They have the control that gives them the freedom in their life, and realizing they don't have to control everything, because they've just needed to make conscious decisions and conscious actions in their life. And it's like a star being born. It's absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, there's that realizing that, oh shit, my whole freaking life Oh my God, there's been 30 years. 30 years I've been sleeping. What have I been doing my whole life? There's that realization. That's a big downer. That takes a down toll. Everybody goes through that one. You just gotta, sorry sweetheart, I know that sucks. That sucks, but hey, you know, you could awaken at 30, you could awaken at 90. I mean, your choice. Some kids just come out of the womb and they're awake and alive, and then they hit this realization that you know, whatever plan was planned for them, even though they have the freedom to make choices and things, that there's this kind of global mass universal plan for things. Or they start thinking about it, whether they believe it or not, and then realizing that, you know, their entity, their light being has, and this might come later, and everything doesn't come in order. Like, everybody's awakening is entirely different. Somebody's climbing mountains, somebody's climbing a hill, someone's in South America, someone's in Europe. I mean, there's so many different ways to be awake, and there's so many steps after you hit that initial awakening and realization that you're awake and making conscious decisions. From that point forward, anything can happen. You're in any kind of different path. I have run into people that are consciously aware and they're over on left field. I'm like, dude, that was so like 2013 for me. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, everybody has a different pathway to get there and different learning and experiences. So there's also this one of the other things that usually hit towards in the beginning is you want to find those people who are awake. All of a sudden, those that you've been hanging around that are sleeping and they're not consciously making decisions, they're not paying attention to themselves. You can't talk to them. It's like talking to a brick wall. And you can talk you can say words and they'll respond. But it's that conversation it doesn't hold anything for you. You're hello. I mean, you still love these people, you still will cherish them, and every moment you'll see them kind of turn on. They're like a flickering star, and you never know when they're gonna just boom, be born. So I find it really amazing watching people become awake, and now my video is at 12 minutes. So I might have a variety of videos that just talk about this, but I'll cut them short and have to continue on in a different video because it's going to be like, there's probably hours of conversation here. Hours. Anyway, have a good day. Hope you all become enlightened. I want to see a whole bunch of bright stars busting all around. That'd be so awesome. Okay, bye.